Hi guys, this is Xenia from Choko-Mocko Living Well, and today we want to talk to you about detox. It has been a buzz topic on the market for a few years now, and you find yourself seeing a lot of product in your health food stores, jars, bottles, little boxes with herbal supplements and vitamins, promising fast weight loss, helping with insomnia, pain relief, and so much more. The problem with those is that on top of them being pretty costly, they are very short term. So they target that specific week or two course that they're designed for, and then you go back to accumulating extra toxins in your body. And to avoid that, you need to teach your body how to clean up itself. The trick to that is having little routines implemented in the morning, afternoon, night. You can use one or all of the ones we're going to be talking today about, whatever works with your schedule, whatever works with your budget. But I do recommend doing them on a daily basis. That's the only way you can have, like a faster weight loss. You will not weight plateau, especially if you're on a diet. So if you find yourself, you started a new lifestyle and you're trying to clean up, like the way you eat, you exercise more often, but you don't lose weight. And people say, oh, don't worry, it's just the muscle weight, like you're losing the fat, but you're getting the muscles. A lot of times that's not true. A lot of times it is the inflammation that you end up getting, and it prevents you from losing all the weight. So to avoid the inflammation, there's a couple of little secrets, and I'm going to tell you just a few of my favorites one today. So we'll start with the alkalizing water. First thing you wake up in the morning, usually most of us do brush our teeth, and we find that it helps with the oral hygiene, prevents cavities, infections in your mouth, and so forth. But we not often think about cleaning up the internal organs as well on a daily basis. So first thing when you wake up, put on the kettle. Take a glass of hot water. If hot water is hard for you to drink, you can go lukewarm, but nothing below the body temperature. You would want to have anything body temperature or warmer, just because otherwise you're shocking your internal system, you're shocking the muscles in your stomach, causing them to contract. And on top of having like stomach problems, it reduces your metabolism, because when the weathers are colder, our metabolism slows down. So that's what you do to your body. You're basically shocking with the ice cold water, and your stomach does not digest all the food that you consume in throughout the day as fast. It keeps it in like your fat cells, it keeps it in the body for much longer, and you have all kinds of complications after that. So a glass of hot or warm water, whatever works for you. And like I said, you can use either tub filtered water or boil up a kettle. That's usually what I do. Just put on a kettle. If too hot is not what you're looking for, just off it halfway through. Squeeze in half a lemon. Half a lemon will give you that alkalization. And if you're not sure what alkalized foods are, and a lot of people think lemons are acidic, it's an acid food, it is actually helping you to alkalize. Alkalization is very important for our bodies, because our bodies in whole are alkalizing, but the byproduct of the functions are all acid. So for us to function properly, we do need to keep that balance. The more alkalized function, the alkalization we do to our body, the better it works throughout the day. And for any acid particle we consume, we need 20 alkalizing particles to counteract it. So the more alkalization we can get throughout the day, the better. So that half a squeeze of lemon in your hot water is what you get, like help you restore that alkalized balance first thing in the morning. So helps you get on track with metabolism, helps you to digest better throughout the day. I also like to add a teaspoon of organic apple cider vinegar. It's very similar function than lemon, but it also helps you break down any fat cells remaining from the night before. So if your stomach hasn't finished digesting, it's wonderful to bring up the apple cider. It's just going to break down everything. Also helps with liver function, because we do know that our liver works the most between midnight to mid-morning. So it digests most of our stuff within that period of time. So apple cider will help speed up that process. Also, a pinch of cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper not only will add the flavor to it, and I'm not talking about like a teaspoon or quarter of a teaspoon even. It literally, like, start with a little bit, see what works for you, because everybody has different heat balance, like they can digest. So if you're not a hot person, like you don't like a lot of spicy foods, do just a little dash. Cayenne pepper will help you with your probiotic. Cayenne pepper is not specifically a probiotic rich, but it is probiotic friendly. It helps grow the good bacteria in your stomach that brings up all the probiotic cultures within our digestive system. So it's not just boosting up the metabolism, it also adds extra flavor. You don't have to just limit yourself to the morning intake in your miracle alkalizing water. You can also use it in all the dishes. You don't have to taste it often, just keep adding it to your meals here and there. For most part, if you go a little bit, you won't even feel the spice. Another little thing that you can add to your alkalizing water is a teaspoon to tablespoon, depending on your sweetness level, of raw honey. Raw honey is a great antibacterial and antimicrobial agent. Basically, it helps you with that seasonal flus, any kind of bacteria that are lingering around. If your kids are going to daycare or school, they usually bring a lot of that, and you find within a season, especially winter or fall, more and more of us getting the sniffles, getting the headaches, and other seasonal problems. Honey will help you with that. To help with the metabolism in terms of antibacterial, antimicrobial, you can also do a couple of shreds of ginger. Fresh ginger is preferred. Powdered ginger does not have a lot of that left in it, except the flavor. So if you can, whenever you can, do fresh grated ginger. You can also slice it really, really thinly, couple of thin slices, and just put it, if your water is hot, it will absorb all the good stuff from it within a minute or two. Lastly, I would recommend adding a tablespoon of aloe vera, gel or juice, whatever is easier to digest. Most people find it juice being easier in terms of drinking. It's not as clumpy, it doesn't have the funny texture. So add a little bit of that, and it will help you clean up your digestive tract, your intestine, your colon. Basically, it acts as a living gelatin, just dragging everything down from your digestive system. Once you mix everything up in the cup, you can let it sit for a few minutes if you added fresh ginger, and then just drink it up. I'm not saying gobble it all in once. You can enjoy it as a cup of tea or coffee. If you still need to have any kind of coffee in the morning, do wait for at least half an hour before your first food or drink intake. It'll take exactly about 28 to 30 minutes to go through your whole system, cleaning up your digestive tract. I'm going to show you a couple of products that I like to use, and feel free to get any kind of locally available products. I will post the recipe down below. If you have any questions, let me know. Just write the comments. If you want me to make another video on alkalized foods or how to blend them together, how to get more oxygen in your body, leave me a comment and I'll be happy to do so. So for the apple cider, I love the Bragg's Organic brand. It is very clean product. They've been on the market for a while. They're energy sustainable, they grow everything organic. They process everything without chemicals, so great product. For the cayenne pepper, you can use any type. Our local supermarkets carry cayenne pepper by Clubhouse. That would work, and they do tend to be a little pricier, around $10 to $12 mark, but this jar will probably last you a few years, unless you really like spicy foods. Another way is aloe vera, and I like Lily of Desert. They do make it in just the filler of the aloe vera leaf, the whole leaf juice, or the gel. So you can find what works for you, texture, flavor wise, health wise. There isn't much difference. I do prefer the gel myself. I have no problem with the texture, and I don't know, in my mind it feels to me that it cleans better, but it really is just a psychosomatic. So if you do need to get a juice, feel free. There is no difference. So like I said, the recipe will be posted down below, and I'll move on to the second trick that you should be doing, is the oil pulling. You might have heard about it recently, within the past year or so. Is basically what you do is you take organic extra virgin cold pressed coconut oil or unrefined sesame oil, and you do take about a teaspoon to a tablespoon, whatever feels comfortable in your mouth, and swish and swoosh it around the mouth anywhere between 5 to 25 minutes. If you're using sesame oil, it starts working within the first 3 to 5 minutes, and then 5 to 10 minutes is all you need, and you find the clear liquid going in the mouth will come up as a foamy white paste like, when it comes out. All you do is just spit it out, and you can brush your teeth with baking soda or any other toothpaste that you're using. Usually just a rinse with hot water will clear off the unpleasant texture, like of the oily consistency in your mouth. Alternatively, you can use coconut oil. It does take a little longer to activate. So if you are using the coconut oil, I do like this brand Naked Coconuts. So they're not just organic extra virgin. They do tend to give 1% of sales to charity, which helps the planet. So you would want to take a tablespoon of that and do the same thing. Swish and swoosh throughout the mouth. The trick is with coconut oil, it takes at least 15 minutes to activate. So you would want to extend your time of oil pulling from 5 to 10 minutes to about 25 minutes. So first 15 minutes swooshing, and then 15 to 20, that's the one working. So the next 10 minutes after is when it's drawing all the toxins. Primarily, it's taking the toxin from your mouth, and we know that we have a lot of infections, starting growing within the oral health. Helps prevent the cavities. Anybody with bad teeth, that's the thing to follow. It saves you a lot of money on your dental bills. Also helps clean up the overall saliva cycle. It takes about a minute to go throughout the body. So thinking after the 15-minute mark, if you're using coconut oil like I do, you're basically cleaning your saliva and digestive tract about 10 times. And same thing, it will foam up, it will get very thick paste. So it is kind of nasty when you spit it out, but think about it, that you could have been in your mouth instead of being in the sink. Same thing, baking soda, hot water to rinse it off. I usually have a cup of peppermint tea. That helps a lot with them. I usually have a cup of peppermint tea right after it. That helps with the aftertaste. And coconut oil is way easier, I find, with oil boiling because of the flavor, if you don't mind the coconut flavor, than sesame seed oil. Another thing in the morning routine, I would highly recommend adding a vitamin D3 or a sunshine vitamin. The Now brand is the one I'm using, but we nowhere nearly get enough, especially in the fall winter month, of the sun and D3 vitamin specifically. So you would want to get at least 10 international units, and that's 10 drops if you're using 1,000 UIs concentrated one. If not, just check the packaging for directions. They do recommend 3 to 4. I say in the winter, especially if you live in North America like I do take at least 10 drops a day, about 10,000 international units per day. It will help you with your mood. It will help you with your skin conditions. It will also brighten up your eyes. You'll feel a little more awake rather than being sluggish and tired all the time. Another way to detoxify is herbal teas. Implementing them, throughout the day, or at least at night as your, end of the day routine, is wonderful. So anything decaffeinated, anything herbal blends, and I'll do a separate video on my favorite teas that work for me. But you'll find that instead of having a coffee or that sweet treat, having the sweet tea, sweetened with licorice root or any kind of a sweeter herb will help with that craving, and you'll find so much lighter. You do not overeat at night as much if you have an extra big cup of tea right after your meal. Another thing that you should incorporate in your daily lifestyle is eating more greens, and you probably are tired of listening about it from all over, like books and magazines. Eat more leafy greens here and there. It's good for your health. I will tell you why. The main reason behind it is not just the fiber and extra nutrients that you're receiving from things like kale, Swiss chard, and dandelion root. It is the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll is the natural life agent in the leafy greens that help you restore the oxygen levels in your red blood cells, helping you to bring the alkalization level of your body better. So if you cannot eat enough, and I'm talking about having to eat a lot of greens, do supplement with liquid chlorophyll. Liquid chlorophyll is pretty cheap in the health food stores. They run between $8 to $12 depending on the flavor. They do come in natural, which just tasteless. They come in chocolate and mint, I believe. Unless they come up with something else, let me know. I'm always interested to know about the flavors that are coming out. A tablespoon of that a day in separate glass of water throughout your lunch or mid-afternoon. Try to consume it in the first part of the day rather than the second. Again, your liver does work better in the mornings than it does in the afternoons. will help you restore your alkalizing levels. So it will take off the stress again, like for any kind of meat lovers or starchy lovers who cannot eat all the greens. Also very great for the kids, because the kids usually do have problems. I know my boys don't eat the greens that well unless it's broccoli. For some weird reason, they adore broccoli, but they're not big fans of kale yet. So unless it is, like finely chopped in a salad or cooked or hidden in the desserts, they will not touch it. So the green smoothies, we call them, or the green juice, helps a lot. So remember about the chlorophyll. Another thing that I want to tell you about is watch what you're eating, how you're eating. Absorbing all the nutrients is very important, and a lot of people say, oh, like I eat all the vegetables, I eat all my greens, I take a lot of fresh fruit, but I seem to still have mineral deficiency. And it is kind of scary that you do all that hard work, like about eating well and exercising, and you end up not having enough of certain vitamins. So you would want to pay close attention to how you comp your food throughout the day. Let's say if you're trying to digest vitamins like E, K, D's, K2, C, so anything from leafy greens, anything salady, should be digested with healthy fats. They would not metabolize without having that extra olive oil in your salad. Do not skip on the like healthy, especially homemade dressings. If you are kind of like not a big fan of oil, there's so much you can do. You can always add a little bit of avocado to it, anything with healthier fats. So you do need fat to lose fat. Remember that. Don't go fat-free diet. And other things like calcium or magnesium, you would want to watch very closely not to lose that with your phytic acid, the anti-nutrient that is often found in nuts, seeds, and grains. Phytic acid in its essence is basically a super molecule with all the nutrients for the plant or tree to grow and develop, but our human bodies cannot open it up unless it's been activated or sprouted, so called, right? So throw your seeds and nuts and water for a couple hours. I can post the link down below on the guidelines of sprouting. Every nut and seed, every grain would have certain minimum hours before it actually starts sprouting and removing the phytic acid to it. If you don't have the time, or it is too complicated to sprout certain things, if you cannot find sprouted nuts and seeds in your local area, you can also ferment them or counteract them with whey or yogurt. If you're dairy intolerant, you can try using lemon or apple cider vinegar. Again, down below I'll post a link, a little more information on that. And lastly, you would want to finish your day right after that herbal cup of tea that we talked about with a detox bath. It is very important to let your skin release any kind of, on top of sweat or dirt that has been clogged throughout the day. All the toxins are being stuck in your skin. So let your skin be that bridge between the internal and external world, and release it by soaking up in an Epsom salt bath, herbal bath. You can dry basically dry herbs within your pharmacy or health food stores or local Chinese herbal stores. Really pretty cheap, like chamomile, lavender, and so forth. Put them in a tub just before you lay down. You can use coconut milk, beautiful for your skin, adds an extra vitamin E, makes your skin very smooth, very radiant, beautiful for your hair as well. And you can usually do Epsom salt bath at home, way cheaper than the commercial ones. You're also avoiding the synthetic chemicals that defer the detox process. So guys, thank you so much for being with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do check the links down below for all the recipes and any kind of information. Leave me your comments, what you like, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Stay healthy.